Welcome to Hellgate, London. As you can see, we're wandering around the Covent Garden Market here and doing a bunch of random demon extermination and side quest stuff. It is absolutely riveting stuff, I assure you. But this is Loot and Click, and it was developed by Flagship Studios and released in 2007. Originally published by Namco Bandai and Electronic Arts. And then Flagship Studios, who were actually composed partially of former Blizzard developers who worked on Diablo, which explains a lot about this game. It ended up filing for bankruptcy in 2008, and Namco Bandai shut down the multiplayer servers in 2009. At least for the Western version of the game. So if you're playing this in the West, then the multiplayer servers have been down for a very, very long time. That said, this game was actually fairly popular in South Korea, of all places. And now we have another messenger from hell. Okay. This is Lear Maw, the Ravager. He lumbers towards me and occasionally tries to smack me. So I'm just going to continually hold down the left mouse button and backstep. And occasionally throw a grenade at him, because why not? And now we've leveled up. Woo. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty typical Diablo clone style gameplay. And it even includes loot that the player character can't use based on their class. So I'm a marksman, as you can see here. This is for an evoker or summoner, so I can't use it. The only thing I can do is either sell it or dismantle it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. A trident launcher. Let's see here. Cadet flexors, cadet recharging flexors, power regeneration 18 per minute. Whatever. By the way, you do have to identify things, and it is quite annoying because you have to use analyzers to do so. You can't just identify things based on your, I don't know, intelligence value or whatever. At any rate, Hellgate London was actually fairly popular in South Korea, as a multiplayer game specifically. And it actually stayed active there for quite a while. I don't know if it's still, I don't know if multiplayer is still available in the Korean version or not. However, Hanbit Soft is a Korean developer, and they picked up the rights to this game. And they republished it on Steam as a single-player game in the West. I don't think there's a separate version for Korea. However, they republished the game on Steam back in 2018, and that is the version that you're seeing right now. It is single-player only. There is no multiplayer component of any kind. You can't even do LAN play if you want. Just entirely single player. Which is, as far as I can tell, the worst thing that could have possibly happened to this thing. Because, again, multiplayer was the main focus of this game. And back in 2007, when this game originally came out, that would have been seen as a novelty. And it would have been seen as, at the very least, interesting enough to justify giving the game a try if you get it on sale or something like that. If not necessarily to make it your daily driver game or whatever. By the way, the interface is a bit clunky here. So, example of clunkiness. So, I want to dismantle this XM55 here. It is apparently a 20mm rifle. 20 millimeters is, it's pretty damn big. for a round, which is funny because this is the magazine right here. That is not a 20 millimeter magazine. At best, that's maybe 5.56 millimeter, maybe 6 millimeter. Yeah. First off, I don't know why this gun is as big as it is. It's huge, it's bulky. It hits about as hard as just a submachine gun. The design is ridiculous. I mean, if this is the magazine, then this is the tiny amount of barrel that this thing has, which means that it has basically no range to it. It has this big carry handle here, right in the middle of the sights, and there's no groove in the carry handle or anything, so it just blocks your view of the front sight from when you try to view it through the rear sight. So that's a fantastic design there. If this thing is supposed to be 20 millimeter, then there's no recoil mitigation system that I can see. Yeah. So it might be 20 millimeters, but it might be basically a 20 millimeter pistol round kind of thing, which would explain some things. But anyway, yeah, this game is a bit of a mess. Oh, I can't actually remove the modifications. Isn't that fun? Let's see here. When you add a modification, it's permanently added. Isn't that fun? So let's just check something here. Since I'm not going to ever use this thing, just to show you some things. Yep, that is in fact the magazine right there. Game designers, I implore you, please just take some very, very simple... do some very simple research. Like, I know that most of these developers are out in California and they consider firearms to be just anathema to existence itself. But come on, if you're making a game that has guns in it, at the very least just put in the minuscule modicum of research needed to make things not look utterly ridiculous and stupid. But anyway, I have been completely sidetracked here. And let's get back to the actual gameplay. And I legitimately don't know what the story in this game is, because honestly, I don't really care. Because the game itself has not made me interested in it. It's just been this the entire time, just wandering around these either tunnels, or in this case, just kind of an open square area, and shooting the same boring generic enemies over and over and over again. By the way, they respawn, which makes it all the worse. At least you don't have to worry about ammunition or anything like that. You hold the button down and things fall over eventually. That said, it's not exactly riveting gameplay. Oh, we got a messenger from hell. This is Zaphon the Ravager. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. But yeah, what is he? He keeps teleporting. Why is he teleporting? Okay, now he's actually chasing me. He teleported again. Okay, whatever, game. I don't know. I'm very confused. There he is. Dazzling... I guess it has something to do with the dazzling phasing thing, but... whatever. Eventually messengers from hell like this guy show up, and they're basically mini-boss type enemies. They just have really big health pools and maybe a few special abilities. There we go. And of course, because this is a loot and click Diablo-esque game, you get showered in loot for no good reason. I don't even care what these items are. I'm just going to get rid of them. So let's see here. Let's discover the true properties of this item. By the way, I only have 2 of these analyzers left, so I can't really do a whole lot here. I can get 24 health regeneration per minute or 32 power regeneration per minute instead of 85 stun defense. Does that make a difference? I don't know, and honestly, I don't really care. So we have armor and shields. This yellow bar here is your shields. I can't really tell whether armor or shields is better. So here's the thing about this game. It doesn't really explain anything about itself very well. And obviously, since I'm playing this on the Steam version, I don't have a manual. So I can't just look at the manual to figure out what the exact stats and such are. And I legitimately don't care enough to look all this stuff up. Because this game is ridiculously boring. Just utterly, ridiculously boring. A rare blessed shard. Okay. You should have heard the flack I took for having my racket blessed. Is that supposed to be a joke? Because it's not funny. I don't get it. At any rate, I can make a Stormblade, which is pointless because it's not part of my class. Yeah, you get loot for other classes than your own, so of course you get a bunch of crap you can't use. What does this ammo do? It adds 27 to phase attack strength and a 2% chance to unleash rebounder bolts when it hits an enemy. That means absolutely nothing to me. Let's see here. I can get 3 armor. You know what? This is better armor than what I'm currently wearing. So I guess we'll go ahead and equip it, and then we'll dismantle this. Now, I can't identify that because I ran out of analyzers, but I don't really care, so. Of course, you had to play inventory Tetris because Diablo-style loot and click. By the way, enemies respawned right next to me while I was doing that. Not that it matters. But anyway, this game was fairly popular in South Korea. Hanbitsoft picked it up in 2018, and they republished it on Steam as a single-player only game. So you can no longer play this thing online in the West at all, as far as I'm aware. Which is a problem, because the game is really boring if you're playing it in single-player. And I can imagine it being very, very slightly less boring if you're playing it with your friends. Thing is, I can really only imagine that because at the very least you would get more people putting out damage instead of just yourself. And yeah, that's not exactly the best stuff here. So let's see here. Get rid of all that. I guess we're going to have to go into the Hell Rift. I don't really want to go into the Hell Rift, but I guess we have to. By the way, Palladium is the in-game currency. All right, so welcome to Hell. This is it's like this literally every single hell rift in the game. You just kind of run around in circles and shoot stuff. It is ostensibly more difficult than if you were to be just messing around with the tunnels in the metro or the random semi-open world segments. And this guy has a lot of health. And so I am executing my highly advanced strategy of moving backwards and holding down the left mouse button. By the way, I have an active ability to crouch. Riveting stuff, isn't it? Yeah, this is a boss fight, by the way. This is Shogoth. He is a level 5 demon lord. Big deal, clearly. Yep. And, of course, because Diablo-style loot and click. Showered in loot. None of which is actually useful to me. Let's see here. I keep hitting the wrong button. Alright, so what we got? We got Trooper Rip Stops. Well, those aren't any better than what I've got, so I'm just going to get rid of them. This requires character level 7. Well, that's one level from now. Let's see. This actually might be slightly better than what I've got. It has a faster rate of fire, and it does 40 damage? No, it does 5 to 6 damage. Okay, no, never mind. That's not quite as good as what I've got. But I can allocate new skill points, except I can't allocate them into anything interesting. And I guess I can get Beacon here. I don't think it does anything for me right now. Okay. Oh, there's one last dude over here. Okay, we'll deal with that. But yeah, this is apparently what hell looks like. It's a red void with nothing in it, basically. By the way, you can sprint, in air quotes. It's not really sprinting. And, of course, enemies have respawned again. Because why not? Yeah, as you can see, this game basically plays like an MMO. Which is why it is so ridiculously boring in single player. Single player MMOs are not fun. Especially when enemies are this brainless. Oh, we got Malifas the Ravager. He is Thorn Septic Diminishing. Do our tactical stance, as the game calls it. And crouch. Such tactical. Ah, wrong buttons again. Alright, let's see here. This is very, very slightly better than what we're currently using. Minion armor is useless to me. Because I don't have minions. Let's see here. It's not really useful to me either. Oh. Get rid of that. I got these 2 blueprints for crafting items that are utterly useless to me, but I can sell them at least. Trying to remember where the station is. There it is. Alright. So we're just going to head back here. You have been playing for 1 hour. Excessive gameplay may affect your lifestyle. An hour. Ooh. Obviously, I haven't been playing for an hour in this particular video, but, and we can just sell stuff for basically no money. My inventory is rapidly filling up. By the way, there's no player storage that I'm aware of, which is annoying.
Killing and dying is not easy work.
Also, the voice acting in this game is pretty crap. Yeah. We have earned an achievement. Reward title nerd. Uh-huh. Okay. Whatever. At any rate, folks, this is Hellgate London. It is incredibly boring. It's basically attempting to do single-player MMO stuff. I can see this being at least mildly amusing if you're playing it as with your friends online, but
State your business. Obey.
honestly, it's just you'd be better served playing pretty much anything else. It was a neat idea. You know, a post-apocalyptic game set in a hell-ravaged London. That's a neat idea. It's just unfortunate that the reality of it is this mindless loot-and-click garbage with absolutely nothing interesting going on in terms of storyline, with nothing compelling in terms of gameplay, where the only real strength it had was online play in an era where there weren't very many options if you wanted to play a more modern or futuristic sort of online loot and click type of game or whatever. But these days you do have other options, and there's really no reason to play this. And I have absolutely no idea why the hell it was so popular in South Korea that a company decided that it would be a good idea to buy the rights to it and keep the game running for as long as they did. And again, it might even still be up and running. I legitimately don't know at this point. But, yeah, if you were curious about Hellgate London, don't play it. If you want to know more about the game itself, more details, different class makeups and things like that, Ross Scott over at Accursed Farms did a Game Dungeon episode on it, and he did a very good job of covering all of the issues the game has. It is he's not quite as shall we say harsh on it as I am, I don't think. He tries to see the silver lining more than I do. But yeah, this game was kind of doomed from the start for me because I get basically nothing out of the loot and click genre anyway. But when it's this MMO-y, it just drags everything down dramatically. But yeah, go check out Ross's video on it. It's pretty amusing. And he goes into a lot more detail and tries to actually get much further into the game than I did. So yeah, that's Hellgate London. Thanks for watching, folks. And I will see you all in later videos.